What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Comfort and Chaos Podcast with yours truly, Vato. Today, I got Mr. White Shoes again in the house. Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, be part of the Comfort and Chaos team. Get yourself some Chaos merch from the Chaos store. Links will be in the description below. Please hit that like button, hit that share button as well. The support definitely goes a long way, and it definitely helps support what we bring to you guys here at the Comfort and Chaos Podcast. Okay. Now, we're not going to waste too much of your time. We got a lot to dive into today. Here at Comfort and Chaos Podcast, we try to help you find common sense in the uncommon world and the chaos that we all are dealing with. We're going to go into some of the chaos you're seeing on your social media and the news that we're dealing with day to day. And then, of course, also, we'll cover some stuff that you guys probably didn't even know is out there. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to have a great episode today. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you here as we continue on the episode. Will.
What is
up,
what
Mr. White
Shoes?
Hey, so how have you been?
I'm good, man. Amazing weekend. Got a little rest and relaxation in one day. Went out to the range, got all the new toys out. Test fired some of the new rifles. I got my brand new 300 black honey badger suppressed, just a chef's kiss of pure hate for my fellow man. So yeah, man, it was a great weekend. How about you?
Yeah, it was a very short-lived weekend, but when you have an HOA, it's always time whenever you have good weather to catch up on keeping the HOA off your back. That's what I spent this weekend doing. Did a lot of yard work, cleaned up the front yard, backyard, even found some pesky little birds trying to squat on one of the corners of my porches.
I cannot stand HOAs.
Oh, dude.
Especially the ones that are super in your shit.
I got one of those.
Oh, no.
I got one of those.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man. Like from where you place your garbage cans, they'll take pictures and send you letters if your grass has to be cut. Which I get the reasoning for an HOA. Their purpose is to maintain property value, keep the value in the neighborhood, keep it going. But sometimes I wish that Doge can kind of make its way to my HOA. I'm not going to lie, because I question a lot of what's going on there in that organization and where that money's going.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
But
do you have an HOA where you live?
Right after I retired and came out here, I joined and was on the board of the HOA because I didn't have anything to do. And it was like right around 4th of July, they were trying to tell like people that they couldn't shoot fireworks in the neighborhood. And I was like, nope, I'm out. Like, you guys are all fucking communists. Like, get out of here, man. So I left it, and they haven't talked to me since. They didn't even ask me to renew, probably because I was like, you guys have lost your minds. And by the way, I'm putting on a fireworks display right in front of my house. So if you guys want to come watch, like, I'm going to be blasting everything I got. So good luck with your petty bullshit.
So I'm actually curious, are there any benefits to being a member of a board?
Other than
do you get any benefits to that?
No, other than I got to sometimes have the semi voice of common sense of like, hey man, why don't we just leave those people alone? It's not that bad. Or like, hey, that over there really sucks. Like that guy trying to create a trailer park, we should deal with that before we yell at people about like a very minor weed issue. So whatever, like it was fine. I at least got the inside baseball and knowledge of how the system works, but other than that, no, it was not useful. And Taryn, the wife, used to be on the board of the largest HOA in the DC area. Or she wasn't on the board, but she worked for him. And she was like, the stuff that you hear, like she would come home with stories, man. It was just like, oh my God, like this is what we're worried about? Like, get out of here, man. So for sure, the next, like the forever house long-term property will have nothing to do with an HOA. Absolutely not.
I mean, that alone should raise the value. When you can advertise, I'm selling my house, it's not part of an HOA. That's already like, oh, hell yeah, I'm into this.
Sure.
But today's age.
But, right, like, when we've been running around looking at large chunks of property and stuff, man, like, you're like, oh my God, this is the most pristine, beautiful, like, everything that you imagine Colorado is, right? And then you go down the road and you're like, Oh my God, they're selling kidneys out of that place. There's 152 tires in that dude's yard, like on the side of this mountain. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
man.
okay,
Yep.
all right. Like,
No, I know what you're saying. So, yeah, but HOAs, I'm not a fan right now, at least not with mine. They're definitely ruining the reputation of HOAs. So, if you have a good HOA, hey, count your blessings. All right. Because the struggle's real out here for some of us.
you should take the pictures, shred them, draw a dick in the envelope, and mail it back to them.
I'll do that the day I leave the neighborhood. The day I leave the neighborhood.
I'll do it for you. Like,
Hey.
why is this dude from Colorado?
As long as you link a different address, you can do it for me.
Why is this dude sending nutscapes to the HOA? Like, what?
I don't even think they're here. I don't even think they're based
Oh,
out of
my
here.
God.
It's probably some company based out of a bunch of investors out of like Arizona somewhere. That's usually what
And
it
they've
really
got
is.
they've got some does nothing but drive around the neighborhood.
Yeah, they get a
Suppose.
property manager company or some kind of managing company, local. We've already gone through 2 to 3 different companies since I lived here.
Wow.
Hey, this is the new group. We're in charge. We just want to introduce ourselves. Like, and here we go again. Here we go again.
Yay.
So, oh well. Life will go on, guys. I'll continue to find comfort in this chaos, as I hope you guys are doing the same. Let's go ahead and get onto this. We're going to start with some good news today. Start off with a nice warm and fuzzy
Good
story.
news? Good news?
A good little story
Love
out
good
there,
news.
guys. And we want to show you guys. Check this out. All right. I this came across my way and I was like, I like this. Let's see what we got here. I was like, let me show Will. All right. So Burger King, guys, of all places, Burger King, has a retirement program. Oh, yeah. But not only that, this guy was rewarded,
Wow.
gifted $400,000 for his retirement after not missing a single day of work for 27 years. Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
Good for
dude.
you, Burger King. Good for you, man. This is kind of like, I saw this and I was like, why isn't this just blasted all over the news right now? This is a cool little story.
That is cool, man. Like, that's awesome. Like the fact that it's not, I don't know, man. Like, I'm curious, like, what that dude did for 27 years at Burger King. Like, was he running a Burger King?
I'm sure this guy worked his way. Either way, I'm like, dude, there's so much to that. I'm like, dude, that's kind of like, hey, in America, man. I'm telling you.
I remember a while back, there was like a lot of pushback from, it was one of the fast food chains that did this. And I don't know if it was, I don't know which one it was. Like, I don't want to allegedly, throw somebody under the bus there, but one of them like did the same thing. It was like, yeah, we gave them like it was like a Happy Meal bag equivalent, like of like random crap. Like,
I think I remember reading that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was a few years ago where they were like, yeah, this person, it was the same thing. It was like, oh yeah, 20 plus years, never missed a day of work, like busted their ass the entire time. And like, I don't remember if it was Burger King or somebody, like they handed them like, here's your goodie bag. And it was like a Chili's gift card and like happy retirement. I was like, what the fuck? So it's good to see a company that like, right, like at least took the tax write off and hooked a dude up, right? That obviously has busted his ass for the company for a long time. Like that's awesome, man.
Oh yeah,
that's
without
awesome.
a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And then to not miss a day for 27 years, Will, I mean, come on. You did a full career in the United States Army. Have you ever missed a day?
I didn't even miss the day after I ran that stupid ass marathon and came in all fucked up. And like that the captain that challenged me was like out for, it was your old boss.
Oh,
like he was out for like a week. Like he's like, I got stress fractures. You bitch. I didn't even train for this thing.
I remember. Now that was a full marathon?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the Army 10 miler.
No, it was full marathon. And I didn't even train for it. That was a terrible idea. That was a very bad life decision. But like, but yeah, man, we've all missed days. Like, I'm sure, right? Like, hey man, like that's phenomenal. whatever it is, right? Like whatever you dedicated your existence to, obviously, right? Hopefully it paid for that dude's, a decent life and hopefully, right, like with 400K in your pocket that it will get ridiculously
400.
taxed. So he'll see
Oh
like
yeah.
150 of it. So that's fun.
Are you kidding me? Even with all these tax cuts that we're hearing about,
There ain't no tax
you know?
cuts, homie. That's not how that works. They need to get rid of a bunch of the tax cuts to pay for all the shit that is getting racked up right now.
Damn, man. Speaking of which, man, what's the latest on all this Doge stuff? Have you heard anything?
I mean, yeah, right. Like it's the same game. Really sounds like, the Republicans are starting, and specifically Trump, are starting to realize that, hey, we have been hacking and slashing all these government agencies, and there's a lot of negative, right? A very high amount of negative press out there. So it looks
Oh
like
yeah, without a
they're
doubt.
dialing back a little bit. If you watched all the Sunday news shows, I think Trump's, oh God, maybe it was the head of the Treasury now. I don't remember which position it was, but they all were kind of on the same talking point. All of the department heads were like, hey, like, we get the final say. Everything that Elon is doing is our recommendations. Wink. I don't think that they
Wink,
are as
wink.
much. Yeah, right. But it sounds like they're really kind of maybe dialing back the aggressiveness and taking a more measured approach.
Yeah.
They use the term, right, and I think we might have said it here. You're using a chainsaw and you need a scalpel. Really, they're using a chainsaw and they could probably be using a butcher knife, because there's still a lot of shit that's got to go, and they're finding a lot of things that, there was just a NBC News report, right, where they're finding all these empty buildings, so they're canceling the contracts to these empty buildings, and
Oh
it's worth
wow.
tens of millions of dollars, right
Wow.
there. It's And we knew it. Like everybody knew this shit was happening.
Yeah.
And there's so much, misinformation and stuff out there in the press. When they talked about, oh, there's 100,000 people that have been fired, and it's like,
Mhm.
wait a second, that's not accurate. When you talk about people that have actually been let go, fired, right? The number
Mhm.
this was last week's number. I haven't seen what, over the last week or so what the current numbers are, but it was like 15,000 people had been fired. And it was like 75 to 80,000 had taken the buyout, right?
Ooh.
So all those people left and they signed up for an additional 7, 8 months ish of bennies, and
Yeah.
pay, right?
Like a severance package.
No, it was a severance package, right? Like,
Mhm.
so, when you look at the numbers of folks that were actually being let go, vice the number of folks that were legitimately like fired, and the majority of those people either had significant disciplinary issues, and if you've ever tried to fire a government civilian, it's impossible, and or
Mhm.
they were in their probationary period, right? So you have 1 year to 2 years, depending on the position, where the government can let you go at any point in time for
Mhm.
pretty much whatever reason.
Mhm.
And so they were all within this like probationary period. So, it doesn't make it right. Not necessarily. But is it as right, like as this gigantic, like they're firing everybody? No, man, oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't answer the email about the 5 fucking things that you did this week. Like you didn't do 5 things, and you were going and approaching your government contractors, asking for 5 things that you could use this week on what you did because you do fucking nothing. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, okay, okay. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, bitch. Get out of here.
Yeah. But I will have to say one thing I have noticed, and I'm pretty sure maybe I don't know if Elon would admit this, but I don't think he realized like the full on after effect
Oh no.
that he was gonna get than what he's getting now. Like, I
Oh
don't think
no.
he realized that. I don't think he factored that, you know? So, I'm pretty sure he may just be surprised too. Now,
Yeah.
he's gonna stand strong and still continue to do what he's doing, but I don't think he was anticipating like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was gonna be so bad like this," you
Yeah.
know, or now it's raising a ruckus along with all the organizations, you know? The
Well, it's not.
media, the people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's not just the organizations, right? Like Trump came out and said this over, I think it was over the weekend. He was like, man, he called Elon a patriot. There's some people that fully agree with it. There's some people that don't. When you look at the polling overall, the majority of America is pretty good with what's happening, and removing you can, some of it's fraud, some of it's political. You could argue waste depending on which
Mhm.
side you're on. You might think that, hey man, 5 million for Mongolian LGBT issues is exactly where we should be spending our money. You can make that argument. I don't think anybody can't say that. I don't think the majority of people agree with you.
Yeah.
So okay, like you can make that argument. Cool,
Mhm.
love that for you. But the majority of Americans don't agree with it. So, but he was like, yeah, he's a patriot. He doesn't have to be doing this. Like
No, he
he's
doesn't.
taking
For
rashes
shit.
of shit and losing a ton of money
Yeah.
in what he's doing. And I've got some of the anti-Doge protests. I got a little video here. I'll pull that
Ooh,
bad
let's
boy
see it.
up.
Let's see it.
Oh, let's see it.
Let's see this video of anti-Doge
Anti-Doge
protests.
protests. Yeah. And as always, like we're figuring out some of this new software here. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look.
Out and Tesla car lots are under attack. As correspondent Nancy Liu reports, vandals are protesting Elon Musk's growing power in Washington since Trump
Those aren't
returned to the White
protests.
House. Well, the violence comes as Tesla employees around the world are on higher alert due to the activities of company founder Elon Musk. Many dealerships have been picketed in recent weeks and even targeted with criminal attacks. The latest violence in Tigard, Oregon, just outside Portland, where police are investigating vandalism involving
Clowns.
gunfire on Wednesday. At least 7 bullets tore into a dealership in an overnight attack, damaging 3 cars and shattering windows. No one was injured, and so far, no arrests. But in another Oregon incident, police have a 41-year-old man in custody. He allegedly targeted a dealership in Salem, causing major damage with Molotov cocktails in January, and then opening fire with an AR-15 style rifle last month. Oregon has been a hotbed for protest action against Elon Musk and Tesla. There's a growing grassroots movement called Tesla Takedown. Lawful picketers are condemning any violence and vandalism.
You have a right to protest. We who served in the military said to give you that right, but not to up and destroy and shoot and burn and whatever. No, go protest. Stand up, scream and holler, get your bullhorn out, go do your thing, but no violence.
Protest actions in Boston and across the country in recent weeks have been largely peaceful, but there have been multiple arrests for vandalism and disorderly conduct. The anti-Elon movement also has people getting rid of their Teslas, including singer Sheryl
I'll
Crow,
take it.
posted a video to social media announcing that proceeds from the sale of her car are going to NPR. Now, so far, no public response from
Just give
Elon.
it to me.
The
Good.
stock
Good.
drop of Tesla
Good.
and also the ongoing protests. But on X, there are many posts in support of Musk.
I'm just gonna say, are we gonna ignore a story about an active shooter walking around with an AR just blasting away in public?
Oh, they've thrown
I mean,
Molotovs into
is
buildings.
are we just gonna ignore that and just kind of focus on the protest? Because I'm pretty sure that's kind of a big deal, and a
God, I
huge
wonder.
concern.
I wonder which side of which batshit party is doing that. Not that I'm not saying that the Republican Party doesn't have its own batshit wing. Like it absolutely does.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've right, like all of this, like calling everybody a fucking Nazi that doesn't agree with you. And right, like this is where this heads. Right? They just shot, I think they just killed somebody outside the White House this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that happened. Let's see, like one of the Tesla dealership, like it was a lady down the road here, like down in Colorado Springs, down the road from me, like who tried to plant a bomb inside the damn. Oh, there you go. Yeah, tried to plant a bomb inside one of the Teslas down here.
That is insane, man. And like, you don't hear much about this other than it's just like, oh yeah, there was a dude out there protesting. Yeah, he pulled out an AR and he was throwing Motlov. Like,
you hear the protests,
it?
right? You hear the protest side of it, right? And
Yeah.
it was the same thing during, you know, the BLM movement where, right, like you'd have legitimate protests and then you'd have like a city burnt down the next day, right? That night. Right? You'd have people protesting and making their voices heard. And just like that guy in the news, right? Like the video we just played, you know, mentioned like, hey, like we've all defended our right to have free speech and protest and all that. But like when you start vicious acts of violence, and destroying private property and personal property and like, nope, we're over that line. You went over that line into batshitville, and I hope they find all those people, and I hope they throw them in fucking prison.
Yeah, man. I don't know why it's like, dude, like I like how that one dude, I mean, he made a good point. He's like, hey, man, you have the right to protest. Us in the military fought for that right for you. But get out there, holler, protest, get your bullhorns out, but no violence, because now it changes. You know, now it changes, you know, and now no longer, to me, I mean, honestly, I see it like, if you're going to start instituting violence, well, now you're a threat. It's no longer a protest. You're a threat for public safety, you know.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
You're going to hurt somebody, you know.
Yeah, 1,000. They don't, and those people, right? The people that are at that level don't care.
Oh, I know. If you're getting pushed to that level where you're going to walk around in public with your AR and start blasting at a building and people, like, dude, okay. At that point, you've gone too far.
Yeah. And, you know, I find it funny, right? These are the same people. And it was like exactly that, right? Your Sheryl Crow, right? The people that were out there buying these vehicles, right? Were all on one side for the most part. You know, and it was these hillbilly rednecks that were like rolling coal past them and like, you know, parking in the Tesla charging spots with their, the dualies. And now it's like, oh, wait, like that dude's on the other side. Well, now, like everybody, you literally watch
what's going on
happen, right? Where like
for something,
like,
stick with it.
Hell yeah, Elon. Like I love me some Elon. And then, then you got like Sheryl Crow, dude. Like I'm getting rid of my Tesla and protest. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, go sit down. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
What vehicle Sheryl Crow drives. Like, you want to give it to NPR? Good. You should give it to NPR. And the government should stop funding NPR. Like, because where do you think the government, or where do you think NPR gets a bunch of their funding from? The government. True. Right? And it's a super left wing propaganda machine. It's become a joke. Like, stop funding that too. Sheryl Crow can fund that. Good for you. Like,
hey, there you go.
All about it. All about it. All about it.
Hey, Sheryl Crow. Hey, I'll take a Tesla too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I mean, like, it's all these, right? Like, just be, we've said it 1,000 times. Just be normal. Just be cool, man. Just
like, be cool.
Hey, be able to have a conversation. Like, You
have a
disagree?
conversation.
Let's
Disagree with
talk
each
about
other.
it, right? Let's talk about it, right? But the hypocrisy is what is being, I think, like, has been thrown out into the open now. Like, everybody sees it. They see your performative bullshit, right? And the left went so far right into the performative bullshit arena that, like, they lost the center portion of Americans. And the center portion of Americans don't necessarily agree with the right wing of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Right? They just haven't lost their right. Like, hey man, like, they were able to point out, like, that's a dude, right? Like, and we talked about this, right? Like, they were able to point that out and be like, nope, like, that's not anywhere true or accurate, right? Like, that's a dude. There's a bunch of crazy shit going on, and we're not for it. And most people were like, okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy. Like, that is a
Yeah.
dude. And when you take a 1% issue, like the Dems have taken, of like, oh, like, we got to go all in on the victimhood, trans everything. Not just like, hey man, like, you want to be trans, like, go live your life as trans. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Like, nobody cares. Go live your best life. I don't care. But, like, stop throwing it in my fucking face every 2 seconds.
Exactly. Man.
Stop calling Stop calling everybody who doesn't agree with you a Nazi. Like, let's stop doing that.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Like, let's
just contain your emotions, okay?
Just come to the mid, like, come to where the majority of the people are in the middle. Like, you got to shift back. If the Republicans, if the Democrats were able to present some semblance of a centrism, they would be fine. They wouldn't be in a spot where, like, the Democratic Party's what, like 20%, I think, has a approval rating of like 20%. Like, that is the lowest of since they've been keeping score.
Man,
it's wild.
Just contain your emotions. Let's find a common denominator and let's have a conversation. Like,
I think,
in the end, realize what team you're on, seriously.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. And I think we've discussed this before. It is now turned to where they're no longer like Americans. It's all about the party. It's all about the party, the party, the party, the party.
And both sides do it.
It's almost like it's a cult,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And both sides do it. It's just the majority of Americans are not. The majority of Americans don't want to be in the cult.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have any interest in being in the cult. I don't want to be in a cult. I want to be able to take issue by issue.
That's it.
Yeah, I want to be able to go issue by issue and have my opinion, make a decision, and move out.
Yeah, and we've said it. We've even said it here. There's no, like, I think that's what, like you, like, Will, you and I, like, definitely, we're like, this is what an American is. You're going to disagree with, you're going to find some stuff you agree with, and you're going to find stuff you disagree with both parties. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find some, like, I think we've even said, ever since Trump's taken office, we're even been like, dude, I don't know if that's a good call. Here's why. Hey, man, I'm asking, I like all this Doge stuff, but dude, what's your plan for this money? What's the plan? You're just starting to really piss me off. You're saving all this money. What's the plan? I'm seeing a lot of cuts. I'm seeing a lot of cuts everywhere. People are losing jobs. It's not sitting too well, though. So you better tell me what their plan. You better at least tell me there is a plan,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
in that sense,
For sure.
There's the same thing with the other side,
Yeah.
There's going to be stuff where I'm like, guys, that doesn't make sense. I'm just sorry. It just doesn't make sense. I'm an American. It doesn't make sense, and you have to understand me on this. Just like I'm going to try to understand why you think that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. But so I totally agree. There's not, I think that's what the best part about, being an American is that we do have that freedom. You have that freedom to disagree. And it's sad right now what's going on. There's some stuff going on. I mean, I don't have any clips or anything to show you guys or the article, but I'm sure a lot of you know what's going on right now in Syria, over this past weekend. And that right there is an idea when an idea or an ideology runs a country, or is in power, is if you don't agree, this is what happens. And that's exactly what they're doing over there. Over 1,000 Christians, were killed, in one day. And it's still continuing. So to me, that's what happens when you have an idea running in charge. That's not how you do things. And you guys know, and you should appreciate your freedoms here in this country. Like, look at that. You have the freedom to go protest. You have a freedom where a media will literally show the dude walking around with an AR and won't even talk about him. Like literally you're throwing rocks in buildings and everything. While in another country, you're getting killed. Imagine you don't agree with who's in charge. Guess what happens? You die and your family dies. And then everybody around you watches, and now, hey, bend the knee. You don't have a choice, or this is what happens, And I think a lot of Americans here just don't have a touch of what that leads to, or what that foundation is setting,
Yeah,
because you just said it yourself. You're being called a Nazi. You disagree with someone, they get emotional. They call you a Nazi. I mean, to the point where I'm like, holy crap, dude, you are emotionally like, and I mean this in the nicest way, you need to get your thoughts under control, because I'm afraid what you're going to do, or what this is going to lead to if you keep that manifestation in your head,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, right, the way that the government, like there's a whole bunch to unpack on that, especially with the Syria piece. We at large caused some of those issues. The U.S. government,
the politics.
Right, we have backed, this current, it was basically an Al-Qaeda offshoot that is now in power, and we backed them against Assad, who was by no means a good human being, right? But once again, right, like we have inserted ourselves into a situation where we probably shouldn't have, and definitely didn't make it better. So that's cool. But I agree with you 1,000% on, hey, we've got to come back to the table and start having conversations again. And there's little bits and pieces, like there's little glimmers, I think, out of the Democratic Party, where some of them are kind of breaking line with the others and going, hey, this is stupid. Like, all this performative bullshit is stupid. Like, we're not tackling the things that the overwhelming amount of American people want us to tackle. We're not, right? Like, we can't say that we're for, we want to slash government spending. Really, motherfuckers? Like, get out of here. That was want to control the border. No, you didn't. And you prove that every single day, right? Like, but then you've got the other side, right? Here the Republicans are, right? They are the majority party in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, right? I don't see immigration reform really, like true heavy immigration reform. Fix the system, right? Like, now, granted, right? Like, it's only been what are we at? 2 months now? Maybe
2 months, 2.5 months.
Yeah, like, no, I don't even think 2.5, right? Like, what is it? No, like late January he took over, right? So we're a couple months in at this point. Like, okay, like just hold on, and the little dumb shit where like you right there, like the Dems are posting like, but like remember the I did that, and they would post like the dumbass Biden like thing on the gas stations, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you've got some of these cats out there like putting them next to eggs, and you're like, you fucking retard! Like, are you serious?
Gosh, yeah, here
like,
we go.
Like that was your boy, like that did the majority of that damage. Do you really want to, like, the American people see through it?
There's
like, seeing through like your performative bullshit. They are seeing.
They're not coming to a logical sense on that. It's an emotional reaction.
Yeah, get back to the center, man. And Bill Maher did a great like little little bit on this recently. I want to play that.
Oh, do you have a clip?
Like, yes, yeah, I do, and I love Bill Maher. Like, he is right. He's left. He's liberal.
Oh
But
yeah,
he's not. He sees some reality in a lot of things, and right, like he can have disagreements with his own party, which has in part pushed him out of the cult. But he gets it in a different kind of way that I think this is where their party, right, that party needs to go in order to gain back the trust of the American people.
Finally, new memo to Democrats. If you ever want to win an election again, the absolute most important first step is stop doing this.
We gather in celebration of the Oscars on the ancestral lands of the Tongva, Tataviam, and Chumash peoples, the traditional caretakers of this water and land.
Yeah, I don't know if we're still saying cringe. Is that? But if that, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Either give the land back or shut the fuck up. Look, I understand the desire to right the wrongs of the past, especially when you get to take the moral high ground and then build an 8,000 square foot mansion on it. Are they for the mansion people? That's 7%. And I'm sure Julianne Hough is sincere about her love for the Chumash people, but I doubt she drives to work in a canoe, scavenges for acorns, or lives in a dome house made of reeds and dried mud.
Here, there's a Tesla for sale.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Woody Harrelson. You want to thank a tribe for Hollywood? Start with the Jews. Now, a few weeks ago in New Zealand, a modern, educated, technologically advanced country, they passed a law making a mountain a person. True, because their indigenous people, the Maori, believe that mountains and rivers are their ancestors. And so the mountain has been legally recognized to have all the rights of a human being, which is more than you can say for Bianca Censori. She is a person, and a mountain isn't. And yet it, I'm sorry, I mean he, or she, or they, now have all the responsibilities, liabilities, duties, and powers of a human being, which, if you follow that to its logical conclusion, means the mountain can get a driver's license, vote, or adopt a rescue dog. And you should see its dating profile. Can we please get over this idea that ancient people weren't just as full of shit, in fact, more full of shit than humans today? It's so simplistic, this idea of guilt by civilization, that being ancient and indigenous and not us was always better than us. It wasn't. The Maori in pre-colonial times were like most indigenous people, quite warlike, frequently fighting other tribes, with the winners enslaving the losers and even eating them. Yeah, have the mountain tell you that story next time you get it drunk. Today's hippies love to harp on how the 1950s was backward, and 1950s was backward, as every past era was, but somehow they see indigenous life in the 1550s as the pinnacle of enlightenment. Besides being ignorant, it's hypocritical because, the ancient lifestyle is available to you. You could live outside and forage for food and wash your clothes in a pond. We have that today. It's called being homeless, and it sucks.
He's not wrong.
It was no fun being alive before anesthetics or refrigeration or germ theory or the fork or FaceTime. Socks are great too. But Bill, they lived in harmony with nature. Yeah, they had to because no one had invented the toilet yet.
Good old Bill Maher.
Dude,
I like his style. I
fan.
like his style of humor. Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan too. And there you go. Like somebody, I'm pretty sure, politically you may disagree or be on different sides, but I bet I can still sit down and have a conversation with a dude and find some humor, find some common ground, have a good time. And I know he does. He actually, on his podcast, he has a lot of everybody. Everybody. It's a very interesting podcast because he literally has people from every political spectrum, every denomination, every belief. Like he's got them all on there. It's a very interesting podcast. So
his one of his latest episodes where he's talking about John Fetterman And right, like he made the case that like, hey, if the Democratic Party wants to win, they need to find someone like Trump that can speak to regular people, right? That they can speak the same language. The performative shit isn't there. And he basically said, hey, like I think Fetterman's the guy. Right after, the just ridiculous, stupid, after that joint address to Congress where, was Al Green, Rep Al Green was thrown out for heckling the president, and they were they refused to stand up for like a kid that had like cancer, right? Like
13-year-old kid.
Right. Like just hey, by the way, we're going to designate, these cartels as criminal terrorist organizations so we can put additional resources into securing the border against fentanyl and all the shit that's killing people inside the state, right? And they're just like, meh. And they asked Fetterman afterward, like, hey, what did you think of that? Your own party acting like that. And he blasted them. He was like, this is stupid. Like, it's performative. It's stupid. And Bill Maher saw that, and he was like, hey, man, like, I think that, that's the type of person that is going to win back the party, right? It's going to win back the American people to that side of the party. And then you've got the other ones that are right still like everybody's a Nazi. Let's shoot up and Tesla dealerships. Let's go harass the vice president and run him down and start screaming at him while he's with his 3-year-old, which happened recently. Like, grow up, man. Like, grow up.
Seriously.
It's ridiculous. Like, that's the type of shit that turns people off, and they don't understand that they're still pandering to like the 20% that are super far left, right? That's
just because they're very loud,
they
very
love
active.
They
think it's the majority, and it's not.
No, it's not the majority.
So,
and they don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, and that's why. Hey, I figure, hey, let's change it up. Let's change it up. Let's go into some stuff that is being put out there that you guys probably have yet to hear about or haven't heard of, or if you have. But either way, guys, don't forget, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on how this all has panned out for you, where you stand. I would love to hear. I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that. If we're crazy, hey, come up on the net. Let us know. Let me know how crazy I am, because I know I'm crazy. But check this out, Will. So here's something that came across my way, and I want to know your thoughts. Now, I bet you this is something that I know.
What you got?
I know you've probably seen a lot of this too, but this is what's been making the headlines on certain across the way here, especially via social media. But apparently, your boy Vladimir, man, I think he's coming out saying that they have the cure for cancer.
Oh, okay.
The vaccine. And that it's going to be available this year. What are your thoughts, man?
I believe that when me shit turns purple and tastes like rainbow sherbet. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Like, shut up. Like, yeah. They also had hypersonic missiles. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Dumbass.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he could be doing a lot of things, and I mean, the guy is very powerful in that country, and I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think that he would, even if they had it, you think he would come out in public like that, or you put it out there?
Oh yeah, 1,000%, 1,000% they would. But it's no. There's a reason why that country is in the shape that it's in. It's because all the brain power was either killed and murdered by their government, or they were smart enough to leave. Like that's it. Bullshit.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I pull the bullshit flag. Prove it. Oh, and there's no way. Right, you're jabbing me with that. Like, I don't care if they say it is true. Like, you're not. There's no way. There's no way.
There you guys.
I'm injecting myself with a Russian vaccine.
Hell
No.
no, guys.
Hell no.
Hell no. Hell no. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully things I will say this though, that is definitely like whatever country that does come out with that, and it's proven to be legit. Like,
Sure.
get ready because your approval rating's about to go through the roof. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
for
say
sure.
that right now.
For sure. There's no way.
And
There's
all
no way
those
the rest of
insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies are gonna hate you.
No, they're
So
gonna
be
love it.
ready.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it, dude. Like, can you imagine what a dose of that's gonna cost?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like,
That's very true.
right? Like, they already do
Debt
that,
for life.
right? Yeah, exactly. Like, they already do that to people. It's terrible. So, like, no, sorry, no. Just no.
Okay, Will, fine. We know where you stand. Jeez, dude, we get it. No, we get it. But check this out, man. Here's some other news. This happened. This went down this weekend, actually, over the weekend. So
What?
apparently, Italian scientists were able to
Where do you
freeze
find
pure
this shit?
light and make it solid for the first time. So they figured out a way
Do you find
to
this?
freeze light. Think about that. That's like Avenger shit right there. That's some like Tony Stark shit right there. And it makes you wonder. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to probably throw out another Navy SEAL reference, but I'm just going to say, what are you planning to do with this?
Yeah,
I get it, but what's
it
the end state?
solid.
Why are we trying to do this?
What are these $1 billion glow sticks? Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, are we raving?
That's exactly it. I'm just like, dude, okay.
Like,
Freeze
come on.
light.
What? I mean, cool. Like, I love it. I don't know what the purpose is. Like, I don't know. I mean, what's the use case for frozen light? I don't know. I mean, it sounds cool.
Well, I'm trying to think. Is there a way you can weaponize that? I don't know.
Yeah, like, are we getting into like stormtrooper laser bolts shit? Like,
That's what comes to mind. I'm thinking like, Avengers. I'm thinking like outer space, intergalactic kind of purpose for that. Yeah, I don't know. Freeze light. I don't know. I mean, we got chem lights. Those are pretty cool. I like it when they snap, make that sound just like,
right?
just
Like,
crack. I think that would be the coolest job ever. All day, all you do is crack chem lights.
yeah, I'm looking up the article right now. Like, okay, yep, they
You thought it was some fake news, didn't you? He thought it was fake news. Hey, there you guys go. You can do it yourself. Do it at home.
Why?
What's the purpose? Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing in here about
what are they trying to achieve? What end state are they trying to pursue?
Yeah. Right? Like, I don't know. I mean, cool.
There you go.
Like,
there you go.
Star Trek shit right there.
Now,
good for them.
Yes, it is. But I got one more to show you, Will. Now, before we get into this one, I got to ask you first.
Uh-oh.
Now, you've been married for how long, Will?
Oh, God. Why are you doing that to me?
I don't mean to put you on the spot, dude. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
15 years.
15 years. Now, before 15 years, how long did you guys date? Like,
not long.
How long did you? Not long.
Not long. No. Okay. No. We met and then like it was pretty quick. Like I knew pretty fast. Like that was it.
Oh, that's sweet, team. That's
yeah.
Make sure you comment down below. Nice. That's sweet
so
for
nice.
Will here.
So sweet.
Now I'm going to ask you this, Will. All right. Now, when you guys started dating or when you guys got married, was social media a thing in your guys' relationship?
A little bit. Like I think we were out of MySpace into Facebook. Like,
okay. Now, was it a thing
Tinder
where
definitely didn't exist?
Did you have to post each other, or did she kind of want you to post her, or did you want her to post you? Is it not a thing? I'm curious to know your thoughts on this one.
No, like especially with like my former line of work, like it was very much my socials were not readily available. Like there wasn't a ton on there. There wasn't a lot of like life stuff. Like we very much kept those very separate. Now, like I don't give a shit. Like I don't care. And ever since I stopped, doing intelligence work and stuff like that, like very very different feel, I think, to the socials and stuff like that. And most of my stuff,
So
and you've seen the terrible, horrific things that I post on my social media. Like it's just one big joke to me. Like it really is.
Now I'll ask though, would she say the same thing? Like, what is her thoughts about social media? Like, would she care if you posted her or didn't post her? Was it a big?
No.
Is it a big concern
for us? No, it was never. No, for us, it was never like that. Was never a thing. Like that was. I don't think either one of us cared. Like, we'll joke around and be like, "Fucking tag me in that," like. Or if I get a bad picture of her, she's like, "You post that, I'll fucking murder you."
Hey, there you go.
And I'm like, okay, like now I want to do it because I like to stir some shit pots.
Now, do you? One more question. Now, do you have any friends or do you know anybody or who are in relationships where social media is like a big deal? Like it's almost like they're always like, "Hey, you got to post this." Like it's like a big deal. Like they're
Actually, you know what? I really do. It's you, bitch. It's fucking you.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No,
what I
mean
mean
in a relationship. We are in a relationship, and you are the one who is constantly telling me to post shit.
Okay, besides us, I'm just asking: have you ever known anybody? Because I'll tell you what, I've known some people, who are very like social media, like they always like, they're always watching they're in a relationship, but they're always watching each other's socials. They're monitoring, hey, post me in that, tag me in that. They're just kind of like trying to stay in tune, And to me, personally, I mean, I'm no expert, but I always thought social media is kind of like your space. At least that's how I saw it. Like that is your space, that is you. You get to express the things you want to do. You can share your thoughts. You can post little memes, and all the kinds of things.
Yeah.
At least for me, I've always seen it like that, so I've always respected that, I know everybody I've been in a relationship with, I've never really like, hey, I need to see your social media, never. That's your space. I've always treated like that,
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I wasn't appreciative though. Hey, you post a picture or you tag me. I'm like, hey, it's not required. But I appreciate it. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's very thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah. Most of the people I ran around with, like that wasn't a thing. Like it just,
and that's true too.
I mean,
I've seen too.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen like folks that like, had to have the joint social media account.
We
know what that was, but,
Yeah.
right? Like, stuff like that. But no, like, I mean, again, right? Like, it's probably, there's definitely some generational stuff there where, like, right?
I totally agree.
When
It's
that
definitely
becomes your
generational.
existence, like,
Oh yeah.
That's what you want to see. Like, that's how they communicate out and like show, I don't know, affection and shit. I don't know, man. Like, that's just not me. It's not been my experience in relationships and stuff like that.
Totally get it, man. But I want to show you this. So a study was actually conducted. Believe it or not, a study was conducted. That's right.
Of course,
social media's been around for a while.
I bet the government funded it. I bet you the government fucking funded it.
I'm curious to know who did fund this study. But the results show that happy couples are less likely to post their partners on social media. And those who post more frequently are often feel insecure in their relationships.
I could see that.
No, I actually can too, because this kind of goes a lot with like what I was saying. Like, it's kind of like your space, it's like your little portable man cave or woman cave, whatever you guys want to call it. Like that's your space. You get to like express, show things that you like, your interests, just share your thoughts, And when you give all that, I mean, I just see it where it's like, I can see why it says feel insecure in their relationship. Because then if you're so dependent on that, then you don't get it. Then that's when it builds the insecurities and you start questioning, like, why didn't she post that? Why didn't he post that? Why doesn't he do that? And then to me, I can see it consuming your head or consuming your mind. And then that'll kind of pour over into actions and behaviors within your relationship. That's just my thoughts, man. I'm just curious to know what your thoughts are, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I also see it as, it's the folks that have, like, we didn't grow up with this.
Oh, we didn't.
Like we didn't, and it wasn't an all-consuming thing in our lives, and the way it is today, right? And folks, right, like all of the studies and stuff that have been out there have said, hey, this social media thing, it really affects one's mental health negatively.
It
because
does.
all you see is the good stuff, right? You
Yeah.
don't see.
It plays a mind game. It's a mind fuck.
Oh yeah, right.
It's a huge mind fuck.
It creates the keeping up with the Joneses style. Like, I have to be perfect. I have to have, I have to be traveled. I have to do all this stuff, and then you get the dickheads taking photos of themselves like on a rented plane, like where it looks like they're on a private jet, right? And then they get off, and the next douchebag gets on and takes his picture, and then the next douchebag gets on and takes it, right? It creates that mentality of that's how I have to act and behave, and I have to display like a peacock, right? Like, I got a peacock out to everyone, and I can imagine if that's
let me fly.
You gotta let me fly.
You fly.
I'm a fucking peacock. And so, okay, like that's what you see, and that's what you and your partner have to live up to. And if that's how you live and view reality with those glasses on, I see that, like, yeah, you're going to be more pissy, and you're going to have a terrible fucking relationship based off that. And we were watching Love is Blind, and it's that same shit. Like, we were just talking about the other day, and we didn't record this weekend because we were both watching the show.
That's right.
And it's the same shit. Like, where they're like, oh, I saw that this person posted about you, and
he unfollowed me, and then he followed me, and then he unfollowed me.
and I just can't have that in a relationship. And you're like, you fucking crazy,
dude.
Like,
what the heck are we? Oh, yeah, no, I know, but like you said, it's a lot of it's just a generational thing,
Yeah.
And we'll end with this. There was also a study, and I'm not showing you this, but there was also a study in my research. I saw there was a study conducted. No, there was also a study conducted. All right, so check this out. If you want to reset your brain, okay, to do a brain reset, recalibrate your brain, because your brain's a muscle. No cell phone for 3 days. Don't touch your cell phone for 3 days.
Yeah.
And you will recalibrate your brain, is what experts are saying right now. And I believe it because it goes a lot with what you said.
Just get out into nature, man. Like, I'll tell you what, I'll take like a 4-day camping trip where I'm out and there's no reception, there's no cell, there's no internet. And it really, like, you sleep different, you feel different.
Wow.
It really does a good hard reset on the body. When you're just hanging out in nature, you can see the stars, and like, it's an amazing reset for as a human, right? And I'm not talking about like fully roughing it. Like, I'm too old for that shit, man. I got a camper. Like, I'm living good, and still, right? Like, you're just away from everything, and it just really resets the brain, man. Like, it really, completely agree.
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. And I just thought that was very interesting. I thought I'd share that with you, Will. And I thought I'd share that with you guys as we kind of end this episode. A little piece of tidbit advice that the experts are saying. Hey, sometimes we got to recalibrate our mind, recalibrate that brain. And hey, take the cell phone out of the picture for 3 days. There you go. You got the remedy. Test it out. Will, you heard it from Will himself too. You kind of sleep better. You feel a little bit better. You just kind of have a different perception on things. Hey, I would encourage you, try it. I'm going to have to try it here soon myself. Unfortunately, my job doesn't really allow me to do that. I try to, believe me. Believe
You're also
me.
going to have to get the hell away from Texas because it's already too hot to be outside there.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. But he can't make up his mind because here we are this morning. It was like 40 degrees outside,
Shut up.
and then 80
Shut
in the
up.
afternoon.
Shut up.
I'm dead ass. Dead
Oh,
ass.
I believe you. But the fact that you're bitching that it was 40, shut up.
There you go. What that sound means, it's time to wrap it up. All right. That's what that means, guys.
That's
so,
the wrap it up sound.
That's the wrap it up song, guys. So thank you so much, Jamie. Thanks for keeping us on track. Hey, guys, I say it all the time. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that you guys are here. Thanks for clicking on the video, guys. Please comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on some of these articles we show. Let us know your thoughts on social media. Is social media a big thing in relationships? Should it be? Should it not be? Is it something that share your experience that you've had with social media relationships? I would love to hear about it and read about it in the comments. So please comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Also, that being said, guys, definitely please hit that like button, subscribe. The help and the support definitely goes a long way. It kind of puts us in this thing that's called like the algorithm. I don't know. I'm still kind of learning that, but apparently that's a thing. It helps with that. And then at the same time, team, while you're there, look at the description, hit those social media links, hit us up on social, hit the Chaos Shop, go check out, get yourself some Chaos gear. And then we'll definitely see you guys on the next video. All right, next podcast as well. But before we go, we always got to end with a little note, little word of advice, words of encouragement, last words, what you call it, whatever you want to call it, from Mr. White Shoes himself. So, Mr. White Shoes, what do you got for the team?
Oh, yes, sir. As we talk about being authentic, right? Like it's very critical, I think, that everybody just, you should be yourself at the end of the day. Right? Reflect on you, be yourself, but not your real self, because nobody wants to see shit. Nobody wants to see it. But be yourself.
All right, guys, they're first. Be yourself and stay away from Russian cancer vaccines, guys. We'll see you in the next video. All right.